Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I was trying to, listening to the whole, all the testimony, trying to understand everything with the wildfires. My district doesn't really have wildfires. We deal more with hurricanes. So I was trying to understand everything with the planes and the purchasing and contracts and all of that. So when I was reading HB 500 in the language, and I read all the different versions. So I see where it talks about purchase, but the way I'm reading it, to me, that could be the purchase of planes, the purchase of a contract for the plane. Like how, I guess I'm not understanding why it's, I guess how other people are interpreting it. That doesn't make sense to me. So can it be the purchase of a contract, the purchase of a plane, whatever makes the most sense?
Yeah.
Let me take sure. Yeah, sure. Regarding that specific question, again, Al Davis, Director, Texas A&M Forest Service, and I'll defer to my deputy here. We sought clarification, ma'am, on that, and we did that through our Legislative Affairs Office, and that specific question, because we did originally ask for leasing. I think we jointly did that, even on the number of aircraft and the type that we wanted, and the response we got back was it did not include leasing.
So it's saying purchase, maintenance, and operation of aircraft for wildfire suppression, going through all the different versions and all the different language. To me, that reads as making sure that we have aircraft for wildfire suppression. If the purchase of a contract to handle the situation of having aircraft for wildfire suppression is the best option in certain situations, and then maybe other situations, it is the purchase of an aircraft.
I'll take a stab. Wes Moorehead, Deputy Director, Texas A&M Forest Service. So I really appreciate that question. Our understanding of the way House Bill 500, the intent behind 500, is born out of a couple things. One, our legislative appropriation request this past session was for $369 million. That included purchase of aircraft and contract money. So $369 million was put forward, clearly spelled out both of those. Through the process, the word contracting was omitted from some versions of the bill that moved forward. When that occurred, there were questions asked of the agency, specifically, how much would it take to purchase and then operate those purchased aircraft? We responded with $257 million. So as we saw that language in 500 finalized without the word contracting and being for $257 million, which we provided as just a purchase price and operating price, we felt like it was probably contracting had been pulled out and was not for contracting. We did ask for clarification, as Director Davis said, and in conversations with both House Appropriations staff and Senate Finance staff, they did confirm that the intent of 500 was for the state to purchase aircraft only.
Okay. Well, when I look at the different versions of HB 500, I did not see the word contract. So I never saw that. So and I'm going back through it to make sure this one last version, but that was never there. So to me, I don't know that the whole thing about the word contract being removed, because I read all the different versions in that section while we've been in here, and it was the word purchase the whole time.
Yeah, and you're probably 100% right, and it may not be that a version of House Bill 500 actually had contract in it. There was some language bounced around through the session, and it may not have been in 500, may have been in other drafts of something else. But we're prepared to deliver either way. Right now, we're delivering on purchasing $257 million because that's what we believe the intent is. But if we get guidance that that's not the intent, and we need to take it another direction, 100% willing and able to do that. We want to fulfill whatever we've been tasked with, and we believe that is purchase at this time.
I think that I'm not going to speak for everyone up here or the legislature, but I would assume that Texans, myself, and other Texans just want to make sure that if there is a wildfire, that it is handled, whether that is through the purchase of an aircraft or the purchase of a contract for an aircraft. I don't think it matters. I'm not an expert in any of that, but I would assume that all Texans would want to make sure that the wildfire situation is handled. And I don't really think that they care or want to get into the back and forth of, was it a contract? Was it the purchase of a contract? Was it the purchase of a aircraft specifically? Everyone just wants it handled. And so I think that, I just feel like we're just mincing words when it just is ultimately making sure that we have the aircraft for wildfires. So.
Yes, ma'am. And
thank you.
Yes, and either way, we're going to have aircraft on the ground. So whether the state says continue forward with purchase, we're prepared to purchase aircraft. We'll have them on station 365 days a year to respond. If the state comes back and says we want contract, the intent is contract, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll have aircraft in play. The investment that's been made, that $257 million. Either way, we'll have aircraft in play.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Raymond.
So to that point, if Mr. Darby was right, earlier he made the comment that you buy a plane and you said it'll take us 2 or 3 years to get it, right? And I think that dovetails with what the chair is saying over here, right? That we don't want to wait too. So, at the end of the day, the real intent of the legislation is to make sure that you have what you need if there's a wildfire when there's a wildfire, and not to have to wait through everything the chairman has described was so devastating, in the Panhandle, right? And so you're going to do that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We're going to give it our best.
So I guess, Wes, you said something kind of intriguing to me, because I've had the same question Ms. Hulse had ever since. I get that the Senate reduced the original ask by about $100 million. 100% get that. But I've also had a question about this language about purchasing and specific purchasing of large tankers and that kind of thing. And I appreciate you guys trying to do some due diligence and find out legislative intent. But legislative staff has never seen a ballot. Legislative staff has never answered to the voter on why the hell their fire didn't get put out. Who told the legislative staff to tell you that? That's really the question, because if you're looking from direction from the legislature, I'm going to tell you right now, buy stuff later. Get a direct contract, that $257 million, because as Ms. Hull very eloquently pointed out, what the language says doesn't say we have to go buy a tanker. It doesn't say we have to buy anything. And I fully support buying airplanes or buying a platform that makes sense. What I care about most is about 3 months from now when we're still stuck with the federal contracts. So if you got your direction from legislative staff, I'm telling you as Chair of State Affairs, don't listen to them. You have my permission to do a direct contract right now, and if legislative staff trumps me, we're really going to have a problem.